That's what I thought.
Is Ernie here? Oh yeah, he's here. Okay. Go like that. Good morning, everybody, or might be afternoon at this point, but welcome everyone to our city's Spano Chamber of Commerce headquarters. And we're going to hear from lots of folks today, including one of our favorite entrepreneurs and our Director of Economic Development, and I think also some folks from West and the Arrowhead Center and our Hispano Chamber. So I'm going to let them go through and sort of introduce what their role is in each of this. But we're very excited today because we get to announce something special for our city. And, you know, for me, supporting local and minority-owned business has been a key focus since we came into office. And this was a big piece of feedback that I had gotten, which is that, you know, you have to help all businesses, but we've really got to focus, number one, on our local businesses. And number two, we've really got to lift up minority-owned and woman-owned businesses in Albuquerque. And I think historically, you know, there's been a fair amount of, frankly, neglect in that area. And so we've been trying to really right that ship now for the last 3 years. And so for us, also this is occurring during Corona or COVID. And we know that actually these are some of the hardest hit businesses across the country and right here in our town. And so what we're announcing today is really going to help with that. Now, before I get to the specifics, I do want to mention what we have been working on with respect to our business development assistance during the time of Corona. And there's a couple of things we've been doing. One is $750,000 in direct assistance for small businesses. And we've also been doing our grants for outdoor dining and retail expansion, which have been extremely popular. I think we're over 200 businesses there. We've also done the groundwork for $1 million in assistance for PPE for companies, and we're going to be working with every chamber in town to do that. Stay tuned for how that's going to be rolled out in the upcoming weeks. And of course, there's millions of grants and zero interest loans to local companies through our state's economic development department. So we appreciate their help, which of course is certainly benefiting Albuquerque. And our budget contains a lot more programs, including $5 million in lodgers tax related programs to support tourism. So these are all going to be programs that I think are going to lift up Albuquerque. They're going to help fill the cracks that are now even bigger because of Corona. But for us now, we get to have Albuquerque's Minority Business Development Center. And this is a great partnership with a lot of folks you're going to hear about. And this is really a program designed to help local businesses and empower minority-owned businesses. And we know that minority-owned businesses are numerically the rock of our community. And they have been, of course, going way back, even before we were a state. But we also know there are vast disparities in the access to resources for minority-owned businesses, and that's really what this development center is set up to focus on. But we also want to highlight that the center is able to help a lot of the high-growth businesses, even in the science and technology center sectors, that we tend to, frankly, overlook and we tend to take for granted in our town, whether it's partnerships with the labs, the base. A lot of our high-tech companies are also minority-owned, and that's a real strong point for our city. That's something that a lot of cities, other cities cannot take credit for. Now, we're also excited to introduce the first executive director of the Albuquerque's Minority Business Development Center, and we're going to hear from her in a little bit, but her name is Gabriela Marquez, and I think she's here. Gabriela, give us a wave. We'll hear more from her if you want to interview her after. A great asset to our city. We're also going to hear from Bill Miera, a sort of landmark case study in our city's local business development efforts from Fiore Industries. And I want to thank both of them. Of course, I want to thank the Hispano Chamber of Commerce for being such a great partner on this, and also West and New Mexico State's Arrowhead Center. So this partnership, of course, is based here in Albuquerque, but it actually reaches all the way down south to the Arrowhead Center, which has been a tremendous asset. I know when I used to be the state auditor and a state senator, the Arrowhead Center was really leading the way on a lot of things. And I'm proud to say now, as mayor of Albuquerque, we're catching up. And with this partnership, I think we're really setting the tone for how we can help our minority and local businesses. So let's really get to our partners who are going to share this story with you, and the woman who guides and shepherds this for all of us here at the City of Albuquerque, our Director of Economic Development, Cynthia Armillo. Cynthia.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, I'll go into detail about what the center will be doing. The Albuquerque Minority Business Development Center is a prime opportunity to harness the power of federal, state, and local resources to make the economies of Albuquerque and, as Mayor mentioned, of New Mexico more equitable for minority business enterprises. Located in offices here at the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, their Barelas Economic Opportunity Center, that's this building here to my left. The center will help further the Economic Development Department's ongoing efforts to build an economy that works for everyone. This includes a strategic focus on local businesses owned by minorities and a focus on strengthening, as Mayor mentioned earlier, industry sectors where Albuquerque already excels. The center will serve mid-sized companies defined as those with $1 million or more in annual gross revenues, as well as aspiring mid-sized companies defined as firms with $500,000 or more in revenue that are pursuing growth. In alignment with Mayor's focus on key high-growth industry sectors in Albuquerque, the center will focus client recruitment and contract opportunities in areas that include, now, General, you'll like to hear this, in areas that include the directed energy and aerospace industries, biosciences, optics and photonics, and of course, film and television. The center will help clients access capital, identify and secure contracts, access new markets, and receive training and capacity development support. While the city will serve as the center's operator with the oversight from the mayor's economic development department, we're not going to be doing this work alone. The city is grateful for support not only from the Minority Business Development Agency, but also from local partners statewide through collaborations with well-respected organizations such as the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, West, and Mayor said this earlier, NMSU's Arrowhead Center, among many others. Now, those key partnerships will be able to offer client bid opportunity sourcing, help with certifications and registrations, lending and equity proposal packaging, capital lending access, strategic planning consultation, international trade assistance, and many other trainings. This powerhouse partner group gives the center connections with local, state, regional, and national industry, government, finance, economic development, and entrepreneurial support agency networks. Such networks are critical as the city and our partners believe center outreach should be statewide for several reasons. One being New Mexico's rural areas are underserved. High-growth business sectors are typically regional, not limited to a single city. And broad-based economic development efforts are increasingly important as minority business enterprises have been disproportionately impacted in the post-pandemic economy. To implement the vision for the center, it will be led by a full-time director, and she will hire a business advisor. In fact, Mayor mentioned this earlier, we are all very thrilled to announce that Gabriela Marquez, again right over here to my left, who has a background in supporting small businesses in Albuquerque and throughout New Mexico, a champion of minority business enterprises, has just been named today, Mayor just named her, to the position of director. A big welcome to her. Bienvenido, Gabby. Welcome. Center staff and our partner organizations will provide in-person remote support and advertisement to businesses. In-person support from partners like West will be accessible in Farmington, Las Cruces, Rio Rancho, Roswell, and Santa Fe, with all counties, including the agency's statewide territory system. Service partner, New Mexico State University Arrowhead, will deliver training digitally statewide and be available for in-person support at sites in Las Cruces and in Santa Fe. Center staff will also, when allowed, will travel as conditions again allow safety to regional areas to hold roadshow events, providing information and coaching. Ultimately, center clients will develop plans for growth, for accessing new markets, again, increase their readiness and capacity for securing contracts, increase their access to capital, and thus also increase revenue and create more jobs. As you can see, every aspect of the center has been designed for rapid stand-up, immediate impact, and broad, diverse reach. To ensure strong outcomes are achieved, we will be tracking key metrics. These include clients served, number of contracts, and number of success stories. Our goal for the center's first year will be for it to have served 80 clients, yielding over 47 contracts and collecting 21 success stories. We anticipate the center will serve 30 clients and have 12 contracts underway within just the first 6 months. Finally, while it should already be clear that our Minority Business Development Center is a monumental local economic development opportunity, it is a national honor. The majority minority demographics of New Mexico are the demographics that will be common across the nation in the coming decades, making our state an ideal testing ground for assisting minority business enterprises. Now, on behalf of our mayor and my team, we are proud to support MBDA's inclusion of MBEs in the American Economy Report Card by sharing policy and practices Albuquerque has taken to support diversity and inclusion in this business community. With that, I'll turn it back over to our mayor to introduce Bill Miera. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. And I think, our town has had lots of great stories. We know this all across the board. But this particular story is very, very relevant to what we're announcing today. And so I'm going to let Bill actually tell that story. But let's welcome the founder and head of Fiore Industries, Bill Miera.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. So I have to start by saying thank you. I was awarded the One Albuquerque Award last year by the mayor. Cynthia gave it to me at the United States Chamber of Commerce conference, their 40th, that was held here in Albuquerque, okay, the national. So thank you. Thank you for that award. So long time ago when I started the company, like 31 years, I literally had a desk, a computer, and a plastic visitor chair, and that's all I had. That's what I started the company with. And one of my first visitors who sat in the plastic chair was from the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. And of course, I had no money at that time, but they had such a mission, helping minority and women businesses start up and help this community. It was irresistible. I just had to be part of that. Especially where I grew up, I saw so much wasted potential in people that had no opportunities. So any entity that could help those folks, I just had to be a part of. So I've been part of the chamber for 31 years now, and it's just been an awesome organization. So not too long after I started my business, I actually won a contract with the Air Force Research Lab to do directed energy work. It was to build high-power microwave systems, to do testing, high-tech things like that, and also to do facility operations to support that testing and IT to support that effort. So those three areas are pretty much what we do now. But what happened when I won that contract is it was protested. And, I was young and naive. I didn't know what that was. The contract got put on hold and then canceled. And so I turned to somebody to give me some help, and that was the Minority Business Development Agency. I had no idea how to deal with these kind of things, but that organization that was put here to help people just like me was invaluable. And a year later, it took a year. I had no income, no food, no anything else. But a year later in Washington, we were able to overturn that ruling, and I was awarded that contract. So we've been doing directed energy and facility operations, protective services, and IT ever since for the last 31 years. So it wasn't just that, but over the entire growth of the company, over the last 31 years, they've been a partner with me. I've turned to them for many things. For instance, we had to turn in some paperwork to have a certification for the company, and it was literally like that thick. Okay, so I could never have produced something like that, but it was the Minority Business Development Agency that helped me through that process and was able to get our certification, another tool to help in the growth that we had over the last 31 years. So it's just been an invaluable partner, and I was so excited when I heard that it was coming back. I mean, they've helped me throughout all of those years, and in fact, helped me to the point where we've been growing over the years, and growing in capacity, growing in financial capability, growing in technical capability, up into our landmark contract that was just received that the mayor mentioned. We did receive a $130 million contract for the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So I actually should be in California right now. But we were really excited about that, and it's the kind of story that I want to hear repeated over and over in our community. And the city could not have picked a better partner with the Hispano Chamber. And it's that kind of community that needs to be served. I mean, as Cynthia said, we've been disproportionately impacted. It's the core of our community. We produce the taxes to pay for schools and everything else, and that community needs to be addressed. And so it's not just the partnership with such a great community, but it's also because my mother grew up about a block down the street, okay? So I really do appreciate all the work, the help that I've been given over the years, and I can't just speak. I literally cannot say how critical this is for a community that needs it. And so one of the questions I have, though, is there going to be support for COVID hair? Because I'm going to have to do something with this hair. Okay. So anyway, thank you so much. And this is just awesome. I'm so excited about this.
Well, that is just so special to hear, and congrats again on that contract, and so wonderful for us to get that right here in Albuquerque. And so our goal is to create more bills. That's basically both the person and the dollar bill. Anyway, so with that, I think what we're going to do actually is just take some questions. Also, if you do want to speak with our new executive director, she's available for one-on-ones, and of course, Ernie's always available. So, and I know the general's hiding in the back, so we'll just let him hide. All right, any questions on this? Pretty straightforward. So, all right, well, we'll look forward to getting started, and really want to thank everyone who's been involved in this, from the agency to the chamber, and to the great work from our economic development department, Cynthia and her team. And it looks like we might have something coming across the line.
So Marissa Moss from KRAT, she would like to know what prompted this now. Why now?
Oh, good question. So the question is, what really prompted this now? And I'll ask Cynthia to share some of the details, but we've been pushing on this actually over the course of multiple years. And, you know, things take time, especially with federal bureaucracy and whatnot. And so I think now is pretty much just the answer to that, is it took us this long to get it set up. But do you want to add anything else to that?
Certainly. As we mentioned earlier, this has always been a part of the mayor's economic development strategy to, again, create an economy that works for everyone. So that includes support for minority business enterprises. We actually applied for the federal grant pre-COVID. So pre-COVID, it was in our strategic plan, and as Mayor mentioned, these things take time. The center doors will be open on December 1, and so it's always been a part of our plan to support minority business enterprises.
All right,
Okay,
have a
great.
great day, everybody.
Thank you. Can we get a photo?
Sure, whatever you want.
Yeah. Gabby. Get a photo.
So where in California is it?
It's in Pasadena.